British support for international trade is now higher than it has ever been since 2003, when the research began. A British attitude survey revealed that almost two-thirds of people now believe that free trade leads to better products becoming available in Britain, increasing 6% from 2003. There has also been a decline in people saying that large international companies are doing more and more damage to local business in Britain. The National Centre for Social Research survey said only 53% of people surveyed believe international companies are damaging to local businesses, which down from 62% in 2003. The news is likely to be welcomed by Prime Minister Theresa May after European Council President Donald Tusk issued a damning response to her proposal of frictionless trade with the European Union after Brexit. Today, before meeting the Prime Minister at Number 10, Mr. Tusk said, "There can be no frictionless trade outside of the customs union and the single market. Friction is an inevitable side effect of Brexit by nature." However, despite key Brexiteers such as Liam Fox and Boris Johnson pushing for more global trade after Brexit, it is actually those who voted Leave who wish to limit foreign imports. Half of those who voted for Brexit in 2016 are now in favour of limiting the imports of foreign goods in order to protect the British economy, which compares just 24% of Remainers. Guy Goodwin, chief executive of the NCSR, said this should be taken as note of caution for the government, who is currently looking to establish trade deals with Australia, the US and China after Brexit. Britons are increasingly in favour of free trade with the rest of the world after Brexit. Mr. Goodwin added, "These new findings are rather reassuring for the government. They show a British public increasingly comfortable with the idea of free trade with the world, believing it leads to better products, and only a minority feel we should impose limits on imports of foreign products." One note of caution is that a half of Leave voters believe in a more protectionist approach. Tuesday, July 25, 2017, British Secretary of State for International Trade Liam Fox delivers remarks on the future of UK trade policy at the American Enterprise Institute. The survey also found the shift to a more free trade stance is being driven mainly by the young. In 2003, 47% of those aged between 18 to 34 agreed with the statement, "Free trade leads to better products becoming available in Britain." It has now increased to 60%, slightly lower than the proportion of over 55s, with 66% saying free trade helps drive better products. Getty, almost two-thirds of people now believe that free trade leads to better products becoming available. Meanwhile, the research also found an education gap in the public's thoughts on free trade. Less than a quarter, 23%, of those with a degree and a higher level of education thought that Britain should limit the import of foreign products in order to protect its national economy, but this figure is more than half, 52% among those with no qualifications. The NATEN panel used a random probability sample drawn from the British Social Attitude Survey (BSA) in 2017 with a weighted base of 2,159.